Hi, and welcome to Green Tubers. Today I'm going to talk about insulation. It is now the end of Tuesday into our second week of our building project. So, only 7 days in, quite a lot has happened already, and if you can see behind me, we now have a giant flat slab of concrete. The builders have been very busy, and here's a little montage to show you what they've been up to. Now you may be thinking, what's green about a giant slab of concrete? Concrete isn't exactly the greenest material to use, and while I would wholeheartedly agree with that, we've gone for sort of a middling option, as it were. So we have used concrete, but we haven't used as much of it as you would normally when doing building foundations. So you may have seen in the shots just now that there is a large amount of insulation in the footings, but unusually the insulation is below the concrete rather than above it. And here's Ben from our building company, Aspire Builders, who will explain far better than I will why exactly that is.
So the guys are just finishing off the raft foundation behind me there. They're pouring in the concrete raft at the moment. The reason it's a raft foundation, it's actually greener than a traditional method. Traditionally you'd have a 450 wide trench, a metre deep. This uses less concrete. The footing's only 450, and then you've got a 6-inch reinforced concrete pad on top. Below that you've got 150 mil of jab-light insulation, so this is going to be a really warm, cost energy saving floor.
So thanks Ben for that. And as you just heard, yes, while we are using concrete, we're using a lot less of it. And we also get, with the underfloor heating that will be on the top of it, a much larger thermal mass because the underfloor heating sits on the concrete, which is then itself insulated. So it will take longer to heat up, but it'll also take a lot longer to cool down, and that will make the temperature in the house a lot more stable. Moving on, and the builders certainly are, we now have a rough wooden structure. This building is, well, our extension is timber framed, and the insulation they're using for the framing is pretty spectacular really. It's a bit better in terms of its eco-friendly credentials than the stuff we've got in the footings. They're using this. I will put a link down to it in the description. It's a wood fibre board, and this goes on the outside of the wood frame. Yeah, like this, possibly like this, and it's amazing stuff actually. It's hard until you've actually felt it. It's squishy, it's like foam. Despite that, it's actually made of wood fibre, so obviously it's very strong, and you can screw straight into it. So over there the builders have screwed the battens on directly into this stuff, but it is insulation as well. I've had a look on the website. Their claim is that there is more carbon soaked up in the wood part of this than there is used CO2 in its production. So it is carbon neutral or even negative, which is a delight, and the thermal properties are excellent as well. So this goes on the outside like that, and then there's a wrap membrane goes over the top of that, and then inside, in between the uprights, there's more insulation to follow. Many weeks have passed since I last managed to get round to do any filming because, well, we're living in a building site and it's very busy. But I need to finish this insulation video, so here it is. This is the last part of our insulation that I wanted to show you. So I showed you the board stuff on the outside before, and this is what sits in between the studs going up on the inside of the wall and also up in the ceiling. Now on the walls we've got the board and then this squishy stuff, and in the ceiling we've actually got 2 layers of this squishy stuff. And if you can see up here, we've got joists and they're offset. So we've got 2 layers of this stuff and it's offset so that we don't get any thermal bridging rather than having 2 layers, one over the top of each other. This is from a company called Styco. It's by the same company that makes the board actually, and I'll put links to both products in the description below. And it's made of wood fibre, but it's still really nice and soft and squishy, and the builders love working with this because it's a lot more pleasant than the usual itchy stuff they have to put up with. It's really great. Anyway, I hope that's been of interest to you, and I'm sure there'll be another video with our next phase or the next interesting green bit of our building project as we go along. Thanks for watching.